Hello and welcome to this special EMG Keynote Showcase. It is great to have you join us. We're very excited about what we have to share with you today, this being our very first keynote event. I'm Rushay van Rensburg, Chairman of Xavant Technology and your host for this event. At Xavant, we believe in a healthy, vibrant and compassionate world. We strive every day to make this a reality through the products that we design with excellence, the markets that we innovate with disruption, and the world around us that we engage with compassion. This is our promise to you. We have a lot to share with you today, so come along for the ride as we take you through the history of our innovation, the dream of a new standard in healthcare, and the development of our newest exciting product offerings. Sit back and enjoy.
Shared expectations of accepted social norms are fascinating. At some point in our earlier history, it was a commonly accepted fact that the Earth was flat. But someone dared to dream a powerful and progressive new idea, and today we know the Earth approximates a sphere. Hi, I'm Corlius Burkle, CEO of Xavant Technology and innovator in the medical space. In the medical field, up and until the 1900s, bloodletting was a common treatment for several pathologies, including hypertension, until a certain Dr. Louis questioned this practice. Louis observed that not enough evidence existed to support the notion that withdrawing blood could improve health. Today, evidence-based medicine has become the accepted social norm. At Xavant, we question this norm. Evidence-based medicine has significantly advanced medical science the past 100 years, yet, in some instances, the very fabric of evidence-based medicine hinders its further progress. Imagine a world where you send your car in to service the brakes, but you only have a 50% chance to increase 30% of its efficiency. At the same time, there's an absolute certainty that by using this service, some other part of your car would malfunction. If this standard of service was introduced in the automobile industry, I believe it would most certainly be challenged. Yet, this standard of care is accepted in the field of medicine. At Xavant, we're racing to dream into reality a higher standard for the practice of healthcare. Imagine a world where the same expectations and accountability we have for other consumer-related services could be applied to your body and mind when it needs medical care. At Xavant, we believe this can be done by the marriage of two modalities. Firstly, therapeutically, we believe strongly in electromagnetic cues which target the biological root cause of disease states to increase treatment efficacy whilst eliminating side effects. Secondly, we believe that the effect of such treatments can and should be monitored in real time. As such, our purpose at Xavant is to create targeted electromagnetic therapies treating the biological root cause of disease states and monitoring the effects of the treatment in real time. Today, we are another step closer to the realization of this purpose, and we are proud to announce a new development in one of these primary modalities, the commercialization of a new core technology for one of our flagship products, namely electromyographic monitoring for the StimPod NMS450X. I now hand you over to our Vice President of R&D at Xavant to show you more. Thank you.
Hi, and welcome to the Research and Development segment of our EMG Keynote Showcase. I am Jacques Swan, Vice President of R&D at Xavant Technology. At Xavant, the most important aspect of designing a high-quality product or accessory is to start off by carefully listening to our end users' needs and understanding the demanding nature of their working environments. We also collect essential data from various sources, such as key opinion leaders from across the globe, distributors, service centers, field application engineers, and sales channels. We then assemble and integrate this data with our own principles of design excellence and innovation, from which we start our design process. Our primary focus, therefore, is to create products which always aim to assist in optimizing our users' workflow. With this approach in mind, our new electromyography system has been designed to seamlessly integrate with our existing StimPod NMS450X monitor. The StimPod, together with the AMG sensor and now the EMG sensor, effectively establishes it as the first handheld multi-sensor NMT monitoring system available, which is simple, economical, and complete. We'll now proceed with a brief technical analysis to demonstrate the unique design innovations of our new EMG system. When considering any EMG system used for NMT monitoring, it consists of three primary component parts. The first, a configurable nerve stimulator. The second, a patient cable that allows for a connection to an EMG electrode. And the third, the EMG electrode itself. At Xavant Technology, the component parts of our new EMG system are identified as follows. The Xavant StimPod NMS450X with EMG functionality, the Xavant EMG patient cable, and the Xavant EMG electrode. This system has been designed to be compact and cost-effective, as well as uses the most accurate NMT monitoring technology currently available in the industry. Let's take a look. The new EMG electrode has been designed with a light, flexible and strong fabric that stays firmly secured to the patient, even during robust clinical use, almost like a second skin. The fabric ensures the EMG electrode stretches and flexes securely along with patient movement. The strong fabric also ensures the electrode is not susceptible to easy breakage during robust use. The electrode has been designed with a symmetrical form factor, allowing for easy ambidextrous setup on either arm of the patient. The electrode contains a ripple design which accommodates the physical anatomical differences from one patient to the next. An elongated tail design allows the EMG patient cable module to be positioned either on or in close proximity to the patient's arm during normal use. The EMG electrode connector incorporates a wide form factor which allows for easy insertion into the EMG module. The connector also provides side grips to assist a user when inserting it into the open slot of the EMG module. An embossed design atop the connector also provides tactile feedback for correct orientation while inserting into the EMG module. The connector is also keyed to further assist with correct insertion. The signal processor enclosed within the EMG module is capable of measuring the faintest patient reaction in response to NMT stimulation sequences. Patient reactions that are imperceptible to the human eye, raising the bar of objective NMT monitoring to a brand new level. Magnets within the EMG module and connector assist in pulling the connector into the EMG slot securely. This design also automatically aligns the electrode tracks to form a positive connection within the EMG module as the connector is pulled in. The user is also provided with audible feedback via a secure clicking sound when the connector is correctly inserted and a positive connection has been established. The design also assists in maintaining the integrity of the connection as the connector is magnetically secured into place during normal use. The connection between the electrode and module is firmly maintained even in the presence of an external interference such as tugging or pulling. The electrode will only be disconnected with a sharp tug or through intentional removal by the user. As a safety precaution, this design allows the electrode to be separated from the module in the presence of an unforeseen movement, rather than have the patient arm being pulled. The wide connector slot of the module allows for ease of insertion and extraction of the electrode. This keyed connector slot furthermore ensures that a firm connection between the electrode and the module is maintained by eliminating any possible wiggle room. The connector slot of the module has been raised to keep the electrode connector from making direct contact with the patient's skin, thereby preventing the possibility of any skin irritation. The smooth contoured edge design of the module ensures that prolonged use does not result in any damage to patient's skin, reducing the chance of developing any pressure sores. The fascia on the EMG module provides the user with a clear indication on how to connect the EMG electrode correctly, further promoting ease of use. And finally, an LED indicator on the module provides a clear visual reference to the user, indicating when the electrode has been connected and a secure connection has been established. A red indicator refers to an open circuit, and a blue indicator refers to a complete and secured closed circuit. The Xavant EMG system has ultimately been designed as a quick and easy to use solution for optimal end user workflow, allowing you to set up and monitor any patient with ease. Set up, connect, and play. Providing a monitoring solution you can rely on. This new compact design now allows the StimPod end user to easily switch between our currently existing AMG system and the newly introduced EMG system. This cost-effective solution delivers the highest quality measurements available and positions the StimPod NMS450X as the first handheld multi-sensor NMT monitoring system in the market space. StimPod, simple, economical, and complete.
Hi, I'm Laurie Hill, Digital Marketing Manager at Xavant Technology. As innovators and developers of NMT monitoring tech, we're keenly aware of the challenges relating to implementing new technology and training staff to use it effectively. As a digital marketer, the solution to many of these challenges for me was clear. We had to develop an effective e-learning platform. The rise of the COVID-19 pandemic served to highlight these original challenges and fixed our resolve to deliver a high-quality online learning experience. At Xavant, we have decades of experience and institutional knowledge of the practical and theoretical aspects surrounding the nervous system, neuromuscular blocking and reversal agents, and neuromuscular transmission monitoring techniques. Through the determined efforts of our dedicated team, we've recently launched our new e-learning platform, the Xavant University. So far, we've created a roadmap of all the courses we'll be developing, the very first of which is available right now. So come and join us and learn more about the field of NMT monitoring. all our university content is primarily driven through a demonstrative approach of successful implementation and use of StimPod products in the anesthesia environment, and laying down the foundational knowledge for correct and safe objective monitoring practice. The Xavant University has been designed with in-depth course content that's easy to navigate and will keep you thoroughly engaged on all the core subjects of anesthesia. Some of our initial course content includes the following: a basic introduction to using the StimPod, a basic introduction to NMT monitoring and physiology, as well as a new specialization course for NMT monitoring in the ICU. We're designing the Xavant University to be an all-in-one resource solution to the field of NMT. Enroll with us as we drive to establish this new platform as a primary resource for NMT monitoring, and let us raise the field of NMT to a new standard of care. The Xavant University is open right now. Let's have a look.
Hi, welcome to the Xavant University. This video will show you how to navigate through the courses and lessons on our online learning platform. Once you've completed the registration process and activated your account, you can go ahead and log in on the university website. If you scroll down, you will see all the courses that are currently available. Select the course that you would like to take. On the next page, click the Take This Course button to enroll. You will notice, at the top of the page, that there is now a progress bar that tracks how far you've completed the course. Below the main image, you will see all the lessons that make up this course. Click on the lesson title to go to the lesson page. Here, you will see the lesson content table that shows the topics and the quiz that make up the lesson. On the left of your screen, there is a sidebar menu that displays all the other lessons in this course. On the content table, click on the topic title. You will now see the contents of this lesson. Once you have worked through the information, you can move to the next topic in the lesson. When you've worked through all the topics and contents of the lesson, you can click on the quiz title in the sidebar, on the left of your screen, to take the quiz and test your knowledge. When you've answered all the questions, you can click on the quiz summary button, and then the finish quiz button, to receive your results. It's important to note that some lessons do not contain topics, like Lesson 3 in this course. These function in the same way as the other lessons. Just click on the lesson title, and the lesson content will be displayed. We hope you have a pleasant learning experience, and we wish you the best of luck.
There you have it. A product that was designed with excellence, a market that we are constantly innovating with disruption, while all the time engaging the patient, your patient, with compassion. Even so, over 500,000 people still experience critical respiratory events every year due to residual neuromuscular blockade. This is a clearly preventable event. The new StimPod EMG technology provides you with a simple, economical, and complete solution. It is the only system that provides both AMG and EMG monitoring in the same device. The first time, you now have the opportunity to optimize your costs at the point of care. Our NMT solution covers 100% of your paralytic cases at all sites. Open arm surgeries, tucked arm surgeries, robotic surgeries, as well as following the patient into the PACU and ICU if necessary. And it allows you to standardize on a single technology platform across all your departments. The StimPod has come a long way, and we are very proud of this new core technology. Thank you for joining us today, and stay tuned for a special Q&A session with the team that designed the new system to answer all your questions.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. We are live. Wherever you are, warm welcome to you and thank you for joining us for this Q&A. We've got, gives me a great pleasure to introduce the panelists for today. With us is my co-founder and CEO of Xavant, Corlius Burkle. We also have Jacques Swart, our VP of Research and Development, David van Niekerk, the engineering lead and project manager for the StimPod, Laurie Hall, our digital marketer and custodian of the Xavant University, and the rose amongst the thorns, Mariska van der Bank, our product specialist and educator, and also the moderator for this session. And of course, myself, Richay van Rensburg, chairman of Xavant Technology. Before we get going, just a couple of T's and C's. You will see a Q&A icon on the bottom of your screen. Please post your questions there. Mariska will moderate these questions and pass them on to the panel for discussion. Also, if you would like to speak to us live, you are more than welcome to do so. Indicate this by using the hand icon. Mariska will then enable your microphone and let you know that we are live.
Thank you very much for the introduction, Richay, and good day to our audience from literally all the corners of the world. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to be part of our very special event. So let's get the show on the road. Mariska, do we have any questions waiting for us?
Corlius, yes, we do. Let's jump straight in. So the first question I have is, it sounds like Xavant has big dreams regarding transforming healthcare. Please clarify how your proposed model for healthcare would negate the need for evidence-based medicine.
Wow, Mariska, that's probably one for me. I see we start with the easy questions. Thanks for that. Well,
it's my pleasure.
With evidence-based medicine, really two things need to be demonstrated. First of all, we need to know that the drug that's going to be used or the device is safe. Further, there needs to be sufficient evidence to demonstrate the efficacy above the placebo effect. And when it comes to modulating the neurohumoral system, we should be able to achieve anything that we can with a drug with electromagnetism. The advantage of treating with electromagnetism, however, is that we have the benefit that we can specifically target the biological root cause of the system that we wish to modulate. And this is the key thing, without necessarily affecting other similar systems in the body. Also, when we switch the electromagnetic effect off, it's gone, unlike drugs, which will stay in the body for a while. This makes electromagnetic or neuromodulation therapies, which may be a more familiar term, inherently safe, and safety does not necessarily have to be proven. Secondly, if we measure the effect that the treatment has on the targeted biology in real time, we get immediate feedback regarding the treatment efficacy. And if we can do this, this will negate the need for several years of gathering evidence to attempt to predict and quantify patient outcomes. I think that's it. I hope it makes sense.
Thank you, Corlius. My next question is a university question. When you complete a course on the university, do you receive some kind of official diploma or certificate?
Oh, that's obviously one for me. In fact, you do. So we have a beautifully designed certificate that's issued online. The moment you successfully complete the course and you've passed all the knowledge tests, it's print ready, so you can just download and print it immediately and hopefully put it up on your wall. Yeah.
Thank you, Larry. My wall is going to be full of certificates. All right, let's carry on. The next question. Why did Xavant add EMG to StimPod? Is EMG not good enough?
That is a really good question. I'll grab that one, Mariska.
Thanks,
So
Rishay.
AMG is absolutely good enough. In fact, we believe that AMG is still the best option in most of the cases, actually. However, there's been two significant changes in the past couple of years in the operating rooms. One is that the position of the patient is changing, and more procedures are being performed where the hands are being tucked, whether this be for safety reasons or for whatever reason. And the second thing is there's been a significant increase in robotic surgeries, and we see this trend continuing in the future. So AMG can be used in all cases, but we did recognize the fact that the setup of AMG becomes challenging in instances where the hand is not readily accessible and visible. That's probably the main reason for adding EMG to the stim pod. And the key is adding. By adding it to the product offering, we still keep the best cost model for NMT monitoring. NMT monitoring is actually a cost saver for healthcare facilities, especially if you use it for full case monitoring. So not only are you getting the post-operative benefits of reduced PACU and ICU stays and fewer CREs, but you also benefit from inoperative benefits like reduced drug usage, both muscle relaxants and especially your reversal agents. So you really want to monitor all your cases as cost effectively as possible. And that's what the stim pod now offers you with both AMG and the EMG option.
Thank you, Rishay. Let's have a look at another question I've got. This is another university one. I am a nurse educator and would love to make the university part of my curriculum. Would I be able to see the results of the students I enroll?
Obviously, it's another one for me. So the platform that we built the university on enables us to assign and structure a role to any profile. So this means you'll be able to track the progress of each of your students and see their test scores. We also have been working closely with nurse educators during the development of the platform and all the courses. And all I can say is we love having you on board. It would not have been possible without you.
Thank you, Larry. All right, the next question I've got. What are the typical difficulties medical practitioners are experiencing with EMG electrodes currently? And how does the Xavant EMG electrode compare or address these difficulties?
Hi, Mariska, I'll take this one.
Thanks, Doc.
Yeah, great question. You know, speaking to key opinion leaders out there, they've expressed numerous difficulties to us, mostly related to ease of use of the existing electrodes currently being used, ease of use and how it affects workflows specifically. Now, one of the first things that came up was we were referring to electrodes that were breaking easily. In some instances, for example, they couldn't get through a surgical procedure without making use of at least 2 electrodes. Right, it was just too easy. The Xavant electrode, however, has been designed with a very strong, flexible material, and we've already confirmed that it supports a breaking strain 2 to 3 times more than that of any other EMG electrode currently in the market space. So it takes quite a bit to break our electrodes. Another source of frustration that medical practitioners and key opinion leaders specifically experienced in the field was the detachment of electrodes during normal use. Right? And this is incredibly frustrating because you have stimulation and monitoring contacts lifting, disrupting normal monitoring, as well as creating some erratic results. Right. Fortunately, the EMG electrode from Xavant has been specifically designed with this flexible material that I was talking about earlier on, and it flexes and stretches with the skin. So any movement of the arm, whether it's by the patient before they go under, or whether it's through movement by a medical practitioner or a nurse, it moves with it, and the electrode simply doesn't lift. And as a result, we get very, very good contact with our stimulation contact points and with our monitoring contact points. So we have a very secure connection with patient's skin. We don't lose track of what we're monitoring, not very easily. And then finally, there is another frustration that medical practitioners have expressed, and that is the ease of use when it relates to the insertion of the electrodes into the processing module, or the extraction of the electrode from the processing module. In some instances, you really need to have a very acute eyesight to be able to insert the electrode. Other instances, you would have to demonstrate some severe dexterity to be able to remove it from the processing module. In our case, we made use of this magnetic insertion and retention mechanism, which really allows you to insert it very easily. And once placed in the module, it remains there, firmly fixed during normal operation. And then just as easily can be removed when you need to. So those are just 2 or 3 of the difficulties that have been experienced, and how we set about in addressing them and actually coming up with some innovative solutions on how to get around it to make it easier for our end user at the end of the day.
Sure. Thank you, Jock. Thanks so much for that one. My next question is, how sensitive is your EMG to a patient's evoked response to stimulation? And how does it, oh dear, let me just, how does it communicate to other EMG, how does it compare to other EMG systems?
That sounds like a question for me. Thank you, Mariska.
All right.
So Xavant spent a tremendous amount of time to design the EMG circuitry and to develop and refine the algorithm to detect extremely small patient responses that are subjectively imperceptible to the human eye. Our EMG system is up to 2.5 times more sensitive than the industry standard, especially when the EMG signals are very small. We achieved this through a superior signal-to-noise ratio and a much higher resolution on the EMG signal. The detection of very small signals becomes essential, especially during surgeries where the patient is in a very deep block and no movement of the patient is allowed. Our EMG system differs from other EMG systems in the sense that we minimize the distance between the EMG electrode and where the signal is processed, which makes our system much less susceptible to any external interferences.
Thank you, David. Let's have a look. I've got a question. Does the 450X now have EMR capabilities?
Yeah, Jacques, maybe you should take that one.
Okay. All right. So currently, yes. The 450X, we've made provision for a new accessory with the StimPod, which is what we refer to as our StimPod smart data cable. The smart data cable currently in its current form has already been certified for use with Philips patient monitors and patient information centers. You require this cable. You can couple it to the StimPod simultaneously with your EMG electrode as well, and you can monitor in real time. You can either display it on patient monitor displays, or you can route the information to clinical information system by patient information centers provided by Philips. We are also currently, right now, in fact, are in the process of having our HL7 protocols verified and certified for use, for once again for further connection to clinical information systems. There are also other opportunities that, or rather other endeavors that we're engaged in with, for example, the introduction of device driver layers with capsule tech as well. That is not implemented yet, but that is next on our schedule.
Good. Thank you, Jock. Are there more courses coming to the university? I'm a student and I've completed all the courses already.
That's another one for me. I like this. So Yeah, well, congratulations if you've completed some courses, all your courses already. So we have developed a whole roadmap of courses, and we cover nearly every practical and theoretical aspect of objective monitoring. There's a brand new best practices course that will be going live in about a week. And there's another one lined up that should be available before the end of June. But the university is a long-term project, and there are still lots of work to be done. But we'll keep you updated as we roll out new courses. As long as you just make sure to register on the university. So send us your details and you'll know when the new stuff is available.
Thanks, Larry. Good, let's jump into the next question. Has EMG received FDA approval for the US?
Yes, well, we're expecting that question. And the answer is it is imminent. It is not quite there yet. Unfortunately, there's been tremendous delays because of COVID with all the emergency applications with the FDA. But yes, I think we're on the final stretch. It should be imminent. Thank you,
Corlius. Right, let's move on. Thank you guys for all the questions. We appreciate it. How are the 450Xs upgraded, and can it be done on site?
I think this is for David, actually, because David has done a few now already.
Fair enough.
Yeah, thanks, Mariska. So yes, we have a remote software download application, which is downloadable from our website. So usually the service centers has access to the remote software download application, and there's a remote software download cable that accompanies the application. And with that, we are able to update any STIM part anywhere in the world.
David, thank you for Mariska, sorry, before we carry on, I just want to add that is specifically for existing 450Xs, but we are also in most parts of the world currently busy with an upgrade program for older STIM pods in the market. So please reach out to your distributor in your area to find out more about that. We upgrade to 450Xs at a discounted rate.
Good. Thanks, Corlius. Good. The next question. The accelerometer cable is currently reusable. The EMG cable appears to be single use. Will the accelerometer cable be redesigned to a single use cable?
Yeah, good question, Charles. Sorry, Mariska, if I may. Okay. Sure. Right. So the accelerometer cable is multiple use. It'll remain that way, right? It's not going to change. There are no plans for it changing at this point in time. The EMG patient cable is in fact reusable. That is the part of the EMG system where the processing gets done. It's the electrodes that are single use. So Charles, it's important for you to realize that when you get an EMG cable, the only the only single-use item are the electrodes, and that becomes a consumable that needs to be replenished over time. Rishi, anything further you wanted to add?
No, it's just, I just wanted to add in that, and within the ethos of how we design the system, the AMG will always be reusable. It's still, it fits into the cost model for the user at the end of the day. We do want to give you the option of having a really cheap way of doing it, and we'll always keep it on the cheap way of doing it. So we'll keep that reusable. The EMG is there for those cases that you can't do with AMG, so you can still optimize your cost of care at the point of care. So we'll always keep it like that.
Good. Thanks, Rishi. The next question. Can we have the external communication facility for NMS 450X for recording or transmitting data to either a PC or mobile or to a multi-parameter monitor?
Yes, Ashish. As I described earlier on, we have the smart data cable. Xavant, we also developed a software application which we refer to as NM Show. So through the use of our smart data cable and our NM Show application, you're able to record data onto a local PC for later processing and for later review.
Okay, thank you, Jacques. So we've got a question. How often should the long electrode be changed when in use? When in use. Long electrode by Michelle. Let me just see another question. I think this one is following. Please clarify the difference between the use of the long electrode versus the ulnar electrode. I assume it's the difference between EMG and AMG.
Okay, okay, I think I understand. In this particular case, yes, the EMG electrode, so the EMG electrode, you'll find that it includes the stimulation electrodes, which get placed over the ulnar site, of the ulnar nerve on your wrist or on your forearm. And it also includes the monitoring electrodes, which get attached to your thumb. Now, the EMG electrode has got that ripple effect, which allows you to accommodate anatomical differences between patients. So it's very, very easy for you to place the stimulation contact points over the ulnar nerve where it needs to be, and then to attach the monitoring electrodes on the thumb. If you compare this to the AMG portion of our solution, you'll find that the AMG requires the use of additional electrodes to attach the stimulation points, stimulation leads for ulnar nerve stimulation. And then, of course, you've got the accelerometer, which straps to the thumb. So I think it's important to realize that the EMG electrode integrates everything, and the flexibility and the ripple effect of the EMG design makes it easy enough for you to attach it to the arm as you should.
Sure. Thank you, Jacques. I think you got that one. Just on the add-on to that question is, how often should the long electrode be changed when in use?
Okay, so the long electrode, as we mentioned earlier on, the long electrode, or the EMG electrode per se, is a single-use electrode. So it has been designed for long duration use. Long duration use does, it doesn't extend past 24 hours, but you would be able to use it up to 24 hours, no longer. But once you've exceeded that duration, or if you've used it during an operational procedure, for example, once that is done, it should be removed and discarded safely. So it's only a single-use item.
Perfect. Thank you, Jacques. Is there any validity studies for Xavant accelerometry and accelerometrography versus mechanomography?
So I'll grab that one. So in terms of accelerometry, accelerometry has been proven over and over and over again as a valid method of doing NMT monitoring. So there's a couple of validation studies, but we didn't really focus on that. We really focused on making the technology better and getting an AMG sensor out there that is just superior in terms of compared to the other sensors that are out there. And pretty much the same for electromyography. Electromyography has now been proven over and over again as a really good way of doing NMT monitoring. What is important now is optimizing the actual electrode for electromyography. That is a huge important part of an EMG system. And that's really what we're focused on, to make that electrode the best one that's available, addressing all the pain points of the market, that we got feedback from, and really putting a system out there that addresses all those pain points. So that's been our focus for this new technology.
Yeah, let me just add to that, Marushka. So there have been studies done. This study was done with our EMG against a competitor's EMG and mechanomography, which to a large extent validated our EMG. There's a couple of studies in the pipeline, and yeah, we're really looking forward to the outcomes of those as well.
Thank you, guys. Sure. Thanks once again for all the questions. We appreciate it. Got a few more to get through. When will it be possible to connect to Space Labs and GE?
One very good question. We're currently busy with an exercise to integrate with GE. Space Labs, that's another discussion. But we will certainly explore that opportunity, or explore that avenue. But currently our focus has been on Philips and GE, HL7 and Capsule Tech. We don't really have any plans at this point in time for Space Labs. However, it is something that we can explore if there is a requirement or a need for this.
Okay, thanks, Jock. Is it affected by diathermy interference?
Good question. David, do you want to grab that one?
I'm not too sure what diathermy is, but it seems to be high frequency electrical currents, and that might influence the EMG signal.
I think what's important to note there is that the stim pod actually does monitor it all the time, and when it does pick it up, it does actually bring a warning message on the screen, which lets the user know that there's interference detected, and it would actually temporarily stop the working of the stim pod until the interference goes away, and then just continue as per normal. So there is a continuous monitoring on any kind of interference in order to ensure that all your results are correct, and the interference doesn't actually interfere with the actual results.
Yeah, and just adding to that, I mean, obviously, that warning only appears if the electrode cautery is excessive, and it is under normal circumstances, it just operates fine. Yeah.
Good. Thank you, guys. Are the EMG electrodes compatible with pediatric patients?
Another good one. Yeah, let's grab that one because we just had the conversation the other day. We actually had a few instances where we used the large electrode on children, and it worked perfectly fine. However, we do realize that if you go to pediatrics or neonatals, the large electrode would probably become a little bit uncomfortable. And we do have a smaller electrode in development at the moment. We are actually busy with our suppliers in order to bring this electrode to fruition, probably within the next few months, hopefully. And again, we've got some exciting ideas on how to not just make a smaller electrode, but actually sort of customize it for pediatrics and neonatals. So watch the space. I think we'll bring out a very nice electrode for pediatrics in the next few months.
Thank you, Riche. Jim, I just want to say I noticed your hands up. If you don't mind, I'm going to continue with the questions. And as we run through it at the end, I'm going to give you a chance to speak. I hope it's okay with you. I haven't allowed you to speak yet, so you can't say no. All right, next question. Are the EMG sensor placement location options the same as acceleromatography?
Yeah.
Joe?
Okay. Yes. So yeah, that's a very interesting question, and this is something we've also just covered recently with one of our key opinion leaders that's been working with our EMG system. The short answer is yes. All right. You can, right? We do recommend that that you place it on your ulnar nerve with your monitoring contacts placed on your thumb. But we do have our key opinion leaders who have been using it on the hypothena region as well. So generally speaking, the short answer to your question is yes.
Thank you, Jog. Then we've got, can it be used for nerve stimulation for regional anesthesia?
Yeah, that's a very good question as well. It's kind of a feature of the StimPod that isn't promoted a lot because the NMT monitoring has always been the main driver, but it does actually have a very good nerve location and nerve mapping capability within the StimPod. Both the 450 and then the 410, which is a different model that exclusively does that. But it's got a very unique combined nerve mapping, nerve locating functionality within it, specifically designed for peripheral nerve blocks. So yeah, it's got a very good functionality for that.
Yeah, indeed.
Thank you, Riche. Gorlius, you want to add to that?
No, I'm just saying indeed. Good answer. Very important answer.
Thank you. So we've got a few messages just saying thank you for the presentation, that they've enjoyed it. So guys, there are a few of those out there. And then if there are no more questions, I'm going to hand over to Jim for a live question. So I'm allowing him to talk. Jim, I've asked to unmute if you want to ask your question.
Okay, my question is obviously through the 450, excuse me, the StimPod 450, then the 450X, now the 450, AMG, EMG, the monitor is virtually virtually the same. And I was in one of our accounts that has that purchased a 450. And then when I started talking about the 450X, the question came up, what changes, if any, are going to occur in the monitor? And so I'd like to be able to go back to the anesthesiologist and let them know that either you're working on something or you've thought about something, it's not ready anytime soon. Just give them an overview of the progress that's being made throughout the entire system.
Jim, let me grab this one. It's nice to hear from you. Thanks for attending, Jim. It's been a while since I've seen you. Jim, yeah, we look, a couple of ways to answer your question. First is that we think the StimPod in its form factor actually addresses a very unique place in the market. We believe strongly that there's a need for a handheld device, and with the advantages of that we mentioned earlier in the presentation, specifically the ability to move from the OR to the PACU to the ICU, etc., etc. In terms of future developments, of course, we're constantly innovating and developing, and we, as Jacques mentioned from the beginning, that we are very customer-centric and focused on customer needs. So definitely, we will endeavor to continue addressing customer needs, and I'm going to leave it at that.
Thank you, Gorlius. I have gone through my list of questions that was posted. Is there anyone else still wanting to ask a question or speak to us live? I think we've answered the questions. Anyone? Thanks, Riche.
No problem, no problem. If there isn't any further questions, then we have reached. Is there another one?
Sorry. Okay, I get excited when they post questions, but it is just someone saying superb presentation and congratulations. Thank you very much. Oh, sorry, there is a question at the end.
There we go.
Will we see more features on a device or diversification of devices and measurements?
I think and this kind of leads into Jim's. I don't know if Jim noticed.
Yeah, sorry.
When you came on, Jim, when you asked the question, most of us had kind of a grin on our face because I think we were all thinking about the roadmaps, the product roadmaps that's in our heads. And as you know, as tantalizing it is to reveal these things, what's coming, one has to, obviously go and do the work first and then reveal these products. So this kind of leads into this question as well. One of our brand promises is that we always will innovate with disruption, and we always look for these unique solutions and these unique products, and we'll continue to do that. So rest assured that within the next 12 to 18 month timeframes, you guys are going to see a lot more from us. There's going to be a lot of new developments coming out, and it's very, very exciting stuff. When we talk about these things, we get very excited. So we're really looking forward to bringing out these new products within the next sort of 12 to 18 months. This is what we do. We love what we do, and we're going to make it really exciting.
Thank you. Then a last one. How can I send a recording of this to customers who are unable to make it today? That's also an easy one.
That's Larry.
We're broadcasting live on YouTube and Facebook, but we'll have the live version will be available on YouTube. Yeah, just send us a mail and we'll send you the link. But you can go to our channel on YouTube, just search for Xavant Technology. We're the only one, and you'll be sure to see it as the last video. So yeah, send it on to your customers.
Thank you, Larry. Sure, I think we've done well for the time. It is almost 5 o'clock and there aren't many more questions, but if there are any more questions, you're welcome to mail it. Can I open it to the panel? You're welcome to mail us and let us know any other questions you still have.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you very much. Like you say, the timing was perfect. We have reached the end of our very first keynote event. Just a final note. So this production was conducted under strict COVID rules and regulations. Only the presenters on camera, as you can see, were allowed to remove their masks. But saying that, our hearts and thoughts are with people all over the world, especially the frontline workers that battle this pandemic every single day. So from all of us, Corlius, Jock, David, Laurie, Mariska, myself, and everybody at Xavant, goodbye, tot ziens, hamburgatle, stay safe and stay healthy. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.